India versus Pakistan by the Brooklyn Bridge, the famous Brooklyn Bridge. That's right across from where I'm sitting in one of the cafes, enjoying a bit of coffee on what has been a very busy day for us, with the two teams holding their press conferences on the eve of the game. What we're going to do now is give you a bit of a lowdown as to what to expect in that encounter. Once again, it's World Cup time. Once again, it is the mother of all battles in India versus Pakistan. Doesn't quite feel like a usual India-Pakistan game at a World Cup. That's probably down to two factors. One, that it's happening in uncharted territories, that of US of a country where cricket isn't too popular. Even though the home team, the USA team, did make a little bit of headlines here by beating Pakistan, yet you'd have to say, by and large, if you were to interact with people that you see walking around me, I'm in the heart of New York at the moment in Brooklyn, not too many are aware of the tournament. But even if I was to look at it from the cricketing audience point of view, the Cricket World Cup hasn't really truly come alive, and maybe this is the game that is going to be that catalyst to bring the tournament to life. Why is it that we're not feeling it like, the India-Pakistan game? Maybe one of the reasons could be it's a first round encounter. The tournament format is such that most good teams are going to make it through to the next round, so not much at stake. You could say that from the Indian point of view. However, I don't think that'd be a correct assessment if you look at it from Pakistan's point of view. Where they stand right now, this game assumes a lot of importance, because believe it or not, so early off in the tournament, it's a do or die sort of a clash for Pakistan after the loss that I just mentioned that they had against the US team. You lose one more game and then it's going to be typically a World Cup tournament for Pakistan, where it then boils down to them having to win every game they play from there. Also, net run rate will come in. They will have to rely on a few other results to go their way. That is not a situation that Pakistan would want to be in, which is why I expect them to give their best in this encounter versus India to keep their chances alive. India, on the other hand, win this game and you're pretty much guaranteed then a spot in the Super 8s, and then you look forward to the other oppositions. Having said that, most people, if you're comparing the two teams, most people would say Pakistan are a bit of a dicey position. They've lost their first game. They're not in great form. There are reports of infighting within the team. And so all of this put together, they stand no chance versus India. I would disagree. In fact, I think this is the situation that really fires them up. They've already had that loss versus the Minnows, which is a must that they have to have in a World Cup. That's tick. Second is they have to have a lot of rumor mongering around their team. That has also been done. The next box tick. Third, they have to play a must-win game versus India to come out with their best performance. That also is a box tick. So all of that put together, I think they're going to be a dangerous team in this encounter. And I wouldn't go so far as to say that India are clear favourites. Yes, India are favourites, no doubt. Not the clear favourites. The other thing that actually brings the contest much closer are the pitches that we're getting. As soon as you're going to get dicey pitches, two-pace pitches, the contest then evens out. You've already seen a lot of upsets in this tournament. USA beating Pakistan, Canada have beaten Ireland. You've had a situation where Afghanistan have beaten New Zealand. All of that put together tells you that because of the pitches at play, the contest or the imbalance between teams just kinds of evens out, which is why India-Pakistan becomes a much closer contest than teams on paper might suggest. Having said that, you'd ask me, I think India still go in as the favourites. Primarily for a couple of reasons. One, they've been here in New York, played two games, one warm-up game that they played versus Bangladesh, second thumping win versus Ireland. On both occasions, they've gotten used to the conditions here in New York. Not ideal conditions, but haven't gotten used to these conditions here in New York. That's going to help them. Even though Rohit Sharma on the eve of the game did not agree with that assessment, he said, doesn't matter if we played two games here, Pakistan playing their first game of the tournament, doesn't matter. But if you look within the layers, I think that is going to make a lot of difference. Knowing the conditions, even the boundary sizes, the square boundaries here in this ground here in New York at the Nassau County Cricket Stadium are big. So to get used to that, to get used to those pitches, I think will be a big advantage. Also, familiarity with the surroundings. I think that is going to play a major role in this encounter, that is India versus Pakistan. Secondly, I think why India may be going in as the favourite is that if you are to get those tricky conditions, if you are going to get those 2 pace wickets, I think Indian batting is quite capable of handling that. I think the batting lineup that India has come to this tournament with can shift gears and can shift gears rather easily. So if you require them to be batting at gear number 5, gear number 6, I think you've got the batters to do that. If you want them on occasions to be batting in gear 2, gear 3, rotate, strike, be a bit circumspect, I think this batting has that much better than the Pakistan team. So all things put together, you'd have to say that India do hold the edge, not by a massive margin, but there is an edge nonetheless. The other big question that most of you are eager to ask and get an answer to is whether India are going to be making changes to their playing 11, whether they're going to be picking in a Kuldeep Yadav. You ask me personally, if I'm captain, I'm playing Kuldeep Yadav most games. Alongside Jasprit Bumrah, he remains for me the biggest match winner you have with the ball. But if you were to read between the lines of things that Rohit Sharma has said in the press conference, seems unlikely that India is going to be doing that. Batting till 8 is something that is mentioned, and I think batting till 8 is something that they are going to be persisting with in this tournament. So which means Akshar, Jadeja have to play with a Hardik Pandya as the other all-rounder, which doesn't leave space for Kuldeep. The only other way he can come in is if you drop a fast bowler, which also in these conditions in New York seems unlikely. You're going to get pretty much the same conditions that you got in the game versus Ireland. So all of that put together, I think Kuldeep Yadav would be unfortunately missing out in this game as well. Yashasvi Jaiswal, if you want to know, also unlikely he comes in. I know 2 left-arm fast bowlers Pakistan is going in with, and many might see that matchup as being something that may prompt the Indian team to bring a Jaiswal. Still seems unlikely. Again, reading between the lines with what Rohit Sharma said in the pre-match press conference, made it very clear that the openers are going to be the same, which is Rohit and Virat. Everyone else in the Indian batting lineup has to rotate. There is going to be flexibility there, but the openers are pretty much sealed on, and that is another indication that India will start with these 2 openers. What else to expect? Well, the last game that these 2 teams played at a T20 World Cup, I think that was the pinnacle of any T20 match. If you're going with hopes that you're going to see another match with that sort of level, you'll only get it once in a lifetime, once in a blue moon. What Virat Kohli did on that evening in Melbourne is very, very rare, let alone in T20 cricket, just in cricket in general. So if you have that kind of expectations, maybe not. But a good game between India-Pakistan, I think you're going to get it. It'll be a low-scoring one for sure, but I think it'll be a game that will keep you on the edge of your seats. And I think that is exactly what thousands of fans that will turn up in the stadium would be expecting. We haven't had a full house here so far in any of the games, but I think you're going to get a full house. By full house, I mean at least 80 to 90% seats are going to be full. Tickets are going at $1,000 plus, but yet I think fans here in the US and those that are traveling are going to pay good money to be watching this encounter. For you, the only advice I have is watch the match on the broadcaster, but stay tuned to Sports Today for all the other latest updates, analysis. We'll be live about an hour and a half before the game, speaking to a lot of fans. So if you want to listen into that, soak in the atmosphere, then all you need to do is press that subscribe button, press that bell icon. That will tell you in terms of notification whenever we are live. Already a lot of content up from New York. Navjot Singh Sidhu interview, Saurabh, the left arm fast bowler, Netrawalkar, who bowled in that super over versus Pakistan. His exclusive interview is also coming up very shortly on Sports Today. So do check that out. For the moment, I'm going to take your leave. Nikhil Naz signing off once again from a hectic New York.